Okay. All right. Good enough. All right. Mm. Ooh. Yeah, it's not gonna handle it. All right. Ah. Well, good evening. It's been about 4 days, 5 days, I guess, since I last stepped into it. So, welcome to the Chocolate Mountain Show. I am your host. Eight Wind is Timeless. I am the holder of the infinite ball game created by the Hero Twins. I am the Galactic Daddy-O. Thank each and every one of you joining me on my galactic patio from Minnesota to the universe. It's a very special commercial for Drakkar, for the man who has nothing. And tonight we are having Andox, Clusters, Geifel, Fur, Lipen, Steel, Double Bach, Dunkel. So pop them if you got them. Smoke them if you want them. And of course, we are using the reliable unit from Hamilton Devices. So, Jesse Lynn, timelessness to you, wellness to you too. Gaming, how you doing? Hey, PJ, what is happening? Hey, PJ, what happened to the basketball game? I'm watching track, and then they showing Durant warming up, and they didn't show the basketball game. I got about 6 Olympic channels, and not one channel showing the basketball game. Oh, but Jesse Lynn, thank you so much for joining me. Your speakers. Well, I'm glad that you got a little bit out of it. Yeah, and well, for me, it cleans out any negative. And it would be hard for anything to penetrate in here anyway, but it just clears out all stale energies. And so, yeah. Jody, thank you for joining. Bay à la Louvre, Bay à Louvre, what's happening? Oh, me too. I mean, these are such like stress reducers too. I mean, you can get off of work or whatever you do. You can stress release with this too, because this will take a type of negative energy that say you picked up a negative energy. This will penetrate through pretty much most negative energies. And then again, this is a grounding color. But like I was just thinking, I have some tuning forks, and like these tuning forks are super bad because what people forget sometimes is people forget to like cleanse their aura as well, or your magnetic field, your personal magnetic field. And so these are things. And so when you're talking about tuning forks, you really want to enhance all that and all the colors that are around you that come to whatever your spiritual essence is, I guess. Tuning forks hit all of it so nice. So just wanted to say that. I really don't have a lot to say. Big H. I watched the Olympics. I asked myself, was it wise for a teenager to want to grow up to a world-class sports star? Or should we just leave all that stuff alone? You mentioned rituals. Well, did you hear the one about the gymnastics that got the little girl that was adopted that won all the gymnast medals? Did you hear that they said her aunt died? They said her aunt died during the Olympics. Now, as far as I knew, she was adopted. They've been showing that commercial with the girl with no legs, and that she got adopted. And I won't tell the joke, but it's like, so who died? Like her adopted aunt died, but again, we see it as sacrifice. It's a type of sacrifice. We definitely see it as sacrifice. So that's what I thought was interesting. Hey, Jay. Hey, James, thank you. I found out the last time they lost, they had to find it on the Fire Stick. Oh, okay. They showed him warming up. They showed Durant warming up. And the next thing I know, there's no game being shown. So I don't know. I was like expecting the game being. I was almost wasn't gonna come on. I was like, oh, the game gonna come on late. It ain't come on at all. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't have a fire stick, so I'm not sure. I guess some. And we talk about a gentle sadness. The 18-year-old that is usually popping his big face in here, he's moved out. So he's on his own. He's with a friend. They've moved. Got a job already. He's been gone for about a week. We were hoping to get him in a casino down here, and I imagine if that came up, he would take the job. But right now, he's doing his own thing. You know, he's doing his own thing. So I'm proud of him because that's all you can do. You know, you raise them as well as you can and do your best and as best as you can, given what you had to work with. And long as you knew that you did your best, that's all. That's all the world or the universe can ask of you when it comes to children. That you did your best and that child felt love in their life. Oh, there we go. And that's all you can really do. You can't really do more. Hey, Rocky. Ha, yeah, I remember being 18. Yeah. Just Nat was like, "Oh, do I finally get his room?" So we're cleaning up his room tomorrow. I mean, him and my other son, my 20-year-old, they left me with so much, about $200 worth of. They left me with 3 couches, and then I got to get rid of his bed because that bed has seen better days. It's definitely seen better days. And I have my daughter's bed, and he threw the rails away. He just informed me that he threw the rails away. So now I have to get her another bed frame. But yeah, it's just her and I. And we were super busy. We were super busy today. And this is like how it is around here. It's like driving. You live in areas like this, it's just driving. Everywhere is driving. And so she had her baton thing, had a water park. The water park is about 25 minutes away. I had another appointment. Again, this was the day where I deliver food to people. So I had to be like, so I had to go another 25. So I had to drop her off, turn around, go another 25 miles in the complete other direction, drop all the food off, get the food, drop it off, home for about a half hour, and then go back to pick her up. So that's kind of how just drove a bunch of miles today, bunch of miles. But helpful. It worked out today. It worked out. And then it's my weekend with her, so her and I are hanging out this weekend. And then like she's like my mother, myself, my 20-year-old, and my youngest were all born on the 1 days. All born on the 1 days. And so each of us turned the 0 this year. We all turned 0. She's the last one. And she looks at it as, her golden birthday because she's going to be double digits. So bought a battle rope today. Kind of cool. I got some arm weights. I don't, for some reason, the rope is 18 feet. So looked on YouTube, found a bunch of drills to do. I've definitely lost weight, which is interesting because of the amount of beer I consume, but I do eat fairly healthy, but been walking and yeah, so feeling kind of good. Where did you go to all these restrictions going on? It seems like you cannot go anywhere to do anything without the shot. Nah, it's like that's not here. This area where I live is very conservative. So this is going to be now Minneapolis is kind of mixed. This state is mostly Democratic. The state voted for Slow Joe, the Dixiecrat, and they voted for Obama in crazy numbers. But this little pocket where I live is kind of the opposite. It's very conservative down here. So it's no restrictions. There's no mask requirements. Right now, it looks like the children might not even wear masks in school. So we'll see. And this is the thing with all the restrictions. People don't have to go to a restaurant. They pretty much can bring the food to you. You don't have to shop anymore. It reminds me of the Netflix movie. Remember the movie where the Mai got lonely because the Mai had wiped out all the humans. So the Mai created some synthetic humans, and they made the synthetic humans kind of think they're rebelling, like to watch their children grow up. And remember, they're delivering shit still. The robots with the drones, and they delivering shit. And the people don't know some of the shit they can use, and they do use. But that's the advantage is you don't really have to go anywhere. So they ain't gonna say you got to have that thing to walk outside. But it makes the beast look very desperate. I mean, I don't think anybody can get away from seeing this. The beast is very desperate. Oh, and this is a word I'm gonna put out there. We got all these unpaid sponsors. Those of you that are in YouTube, you notice how many unpaid sponsors we have? A lot of unpaid sponsors out there. And that's Goebbels. That's propaganda. That's Nazi style of propaganda. You've been having people. I had one cousin. She said she didn't even the government didn't even have to tell her anything. She was about to shelter in place just on her own. Government didn't even have to tell her. And I'm gonna say this. Just like selfies are a way. Now I understand selfies. Women like to feel pretty every day and see who likes them feeling pretty. But selfies, in a way, is a type of mental illness. So saying that, when you see these people putting shit on the mask, that's mental illness too. When you're trying to personalize the mask, you are totally in obey mode. Totally in obey mode. It's no person. The thing of the mask, what they do is to unpersonalize it. They unpersonalize you because you can't see facial expressions. And what they do, what they want is they want a generation that does not go on any self-expression in the face. They don't want that. They want you to be cold. That's why they're doing that to children. They want the children to grow up cold. So the teacher can't see their face, and they know the teacher can't see their face. It's just all about their eyes. Hey, Lorenzo. Oh, thank you. Hey, Sean. Thank you for joining. So those are some things to consider. But yeah, let's wrap it up. But I like what the dude in Florida is doing, standing up to them motherfuckers with the parents. Because that's really what it's all about, is the state is an individual country technically. The feds is like Rome. It's only 10 miles to the feds. As I was saying before, when you looked at even the Civil War, how did so many people join the 10 miles? Like they had to trick the others to think it was in their best interest. And it's like I said before, why would a dude in Mississippi care about Pearl Harbor? Why would they care? Why would they care? You had the fucking Navy out there in the middle of nowhere and they got attacked. Is that enough for war? If I'm the way I'm looking at it, a war that they caused, and then no one asked questions. No one said, well, what made them decide to do it? Well, the oil embargo decided to do it, and the Rockefellers wanted a war because they didn't like the competition in rubber. They wanted to kill their rubber business in Southeast Asia. They wanted to control it all around the world. So they tricked the government into fighting. They tricked the people into going to war for the Rockefellers. Oh, yeah, Lorenzo. Yeah, decorating and shit. No, a few people put rhinestones. Damn. Oh, he went after that Dixiecrat today. He went after that Dixiecrat. But that's how most states should be. And before, with Trump, you saw the state showdown. I'll say this for them. Um, I've said this before. My cousin is mayor of Benton Harbor, Marcus Muhammad. He is the mayor, and Whirlpool pulled, if I remember right, Whirlpool used to be like South Bend and Benton, or excuse me, St. Joe and Benton Harbor, like night and day little twin cities. It's like cross the little lake, little river that comes between St. Joe, Money, Benton Harbor, go to the same high school since the 20s. They took all the jobs out of Benton Harbor, and Benton Harbor has been on hard times. But Whirlpool is putting 20 some $million in building some type of housing down there. So right on for my cousin. Right on for trying to help these people. I hope they give them some kind of economic stimulation too, where these people can work. Children being in class, online with a teacher, mouth covered in class. Oh yeah. Liquid fire, what's happening? Thanks for joining. So these are some things that you're gonna have to consider as you go into whatever. Is trying to like make Outcast. Come on, do it for the team. You know how some people go on a date, dude, it'd be an ugly chick to be the friend and be like, she about to let you smash or your guy can smash. And then the old saying used to be, do it, give one for the team, take one for the team. Yeah. But we don't want to be on their team for the ones that don't. It's not yay or nay. It's not on me. It's on you. I'll say that's the echo you see. That is this is what the conservatives say. The conservatives say, well, I've had it, but it's your right if you do, if you don't. They're trying to tell us how in trouble everybody is, but yet you got 600,000 people that's been in fluxed into the country since January. 600,000 people that you moving around. You are moving that many people around the country, and then you telling us we're supposed to worry about stuff. But the way you move these people around, if it was so serious, seems like you would give those people a halt. But they're not. They're bringing them in, putting them around the country. They're sprinkling them around the country. And so they can vote Democrat. Remember, somebody in New York, what they say, you don't have to be a citizen to vote. I mean, that's how desperate they are. You can just come here and vote. Like just fly in. You can just fly in and vote and go ahead and go back to where the fuck you came from. We had DeSantos with the glasses saying "Thug Life." that was definitely right. He was like, "Fuck your bullshit." Hey Rico, thank you for joining me. Yeah, he was like, "Fuck your bullshit," and that's what it's about. Everything's not a psyop, but everything is agenda based, and that's the thing is you have to realize what is agenda based and what is organic. And what we've seen in this last 6 months of this administration is a real agenda. And Uncle Imbecile said it from the very beginning last January. He pretty much said it's going to come in and disappear, just like he said it. He said it. I mean, over and over again, people are telling that this thing is survivable. This is not a thing that's not survivable. I know 6 people that have all survived it. Elderly, all survived. One person, bad health. Bad health, had to get help for a month, but she survived. So don't tell me this shit is not survivable. But I don't know. He said, "Don't say bleep." Hey, Reese, thank you for joining me. They're making us wear a mask here at work. Oh, okay, that ain't really went away here. People the whole time are pretty much wearing masks. We're hey Jay Bands 28 in here. Hey, thank you, Jay. Hey, what's up, Tiger Strong? America's being the whore. All you have to do is you pay to get in there. That's a good one. That's a good one. And it kind of is. It's like the purge. Remember the purge? They paid to come in the country. They was able to take one of the dope tunnels to come in. Remember that in the purge? They came in, they paid money. They was like went to the thing where the tunnel is, paid them, and then they was able to be taken in through the tunnel. Hey, David V, what's happening? So that seems to be the play. That seems to be the play. I saw the basketball player from Gonzaga, wasn't it? Got beat up or something. What did he do? I didn't. PJ, what did the hooper do? They had him all stretched out on the floor. People sending that shit to me. What did he do? Still don't know what he did when they jumped on his ass. And like, why was they in his house? I kind of forgot about it until just now. I was trying to figure out why they whooping his ass. What did he do? So I don't know. We live in a never-ending movie. Yeah, it's the continuous demic. It's the continuous demic, just like the continuous purge. The all the time purge is all the time demic. For the rest of my life is going to be demic. It's not going to go away. It's going to be demic from now, demic tomorrow, and demic every day from now on. It's the boogeyman is around the corner. Don't look at me because I could get what you got. That's how they want you to act. That's how they want you to be. Fear is everywhere. Oh, fee, fi, fo, fum. Get out the way, fear. Here I come. But Richard Pryor say it's just hard enough being a human being. Now we got the fear on my back. It ain't even the monkey on your back anymore. It's the continuous demic on your back. Look out, everyone. Here's the continuous demic. It's right there on our backs. Shh, we can't even talk at home. Didn't you guys see some bullshit they was talking about? Wear a mask at home for be a good example. The only time I would wear a mask at home is if I have a lady friend over and we're playing, chase the lady friend around the apartment. Might wear a mask for that, whatever her particular liking is. But other than that, it is just crazy. Oh, okay. You not sure? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm talking about the I think he plays for the Bullets or the Wizards, the big 7-footer from Gonzaga. I think. I don't know if it's the dude who from Hawaii. Was that where he's from? Hola. I can't think of it. But they had him pinned up. I couldn't figure out why. People were sending me something, but I didn't figure out why. All this like Black Mirror episodes. Shit is making people look like robots, especially social media. Well, I mean, these unpaid sponsors. This is what I don't get. Is like people are readily unpaid sponsors. Readily unpaid sponsors. This is what was done in Nazi Germany. They started, and then you're in your neighborhood, and now it's your social neighborhood, and you spread what they teach you. You spread the same fear that they put out. I already feel like a zombie. Well, I mean, it's hard to keep this in mind. and one reason why all the distractions. Well, like I said, this ain't real. It don't mean nothing, not a thing. Not really. Not really. It's it is like we are governed by the dumb. I mean, we have all these old dudes. Whose interest is these old dudes? The same money, like you. What is it? You see an early thing of Biden, and it's like, well, the people always want something. That's the thing. The people you run, and they always want something, and that's a real thing. So that never goes away. the more money they give you. And now with these super PACs, they want a lot. And so if they want war, oh, Aaron Bynes. Okay, that's his name. You know they are saying the virus originated. Did you know they had a net about a Chinese threatening to release it? Yeah, they did. I caught that, Big H. Yeah, Aaron Bynes. Okay. Wearing a mask while you breaking and entering her. A code of Omatra. What's happening? Sean, interesting. He slipped and fell in the bathroom. Oh, so why did they arrest him? He must have knocked himself out or something. Oh, wow. He slipped and fell and they treated him like that? So somebody called for helps? Hey, Gray, thanks for joining me. 100 for the, yeah, up here it's like that too. They trying to give you 100 for it. I want that girl. What that girl got? That girl in Ohio got $1 million. Give me that 600,000 after taxes. That would be worth it. Well, I mean, it really is. I mean, it really is. It's like Cypher said. Everything feels real and it seems real, but there's too much unreal going around. I mean, as I was saying, it's almost like the machine has run out of names. Now, granted, I am 60, but I was the first one born with this name, and now it's like 8 or 9 people related to me, all Macons, and we have the exact same name. How is that possible? Like really, everybody saw my name that was Macons, and just, it just rolled off their tongue. They're just everybody just Bryans, like other than my junior. Just the other Macons was like, well, we saw those Bryans, and maybe my nickname, there ain't nobody else in the family with my nickname. My nickname is Toby. So there's nobody with that name. But the name I really don't use, I mean, people that have met me the last 10 years, they call me Brian. But other than that. So, but the same thing is, how do so many people look alike? And people really look alike. But we're non-local people. We have non-locality. And so for people with non-locality, how is there so much similarity? I guess is the point. How is there so much similarity? And when I say non-locality, it's like I can play this. And if Crazy Sarge or Jody or whoever's out here with me or Tiger Strong, you can start playing this without even listening to me. We would play the same tune. We wouldn't even have to be connected to play the same tune. If we was vibing on the same way without even telling each other, we could play the same tune. Because there's a rhythm out there. And the rhythm would come at us around the same time. So why are, my thing is, why are we so similar? We really shouldn't be. And then the mistakes you see. The mistakes you see with this thing. This thing is always making mistakes. Things that can't be explained. Like we already know that they're gonna put this spaceman stuff. We know that's gonna come in. Hey, Mr. T Gaming. Well, it's not that it doesn't exist. It was never the point. Free will was never the point. See, they made you think that you had free will and that the war is them taking your free will, but you don't need it. You don't need free will and awareness or knowing. That never, like in your knowing or in your awareness, free will never even comes up. Because that's something that if you do it right, you can't be bothered. Your magic, they really can't bother you in your magic if you practice enough. And so they make you think that the war is them infringing on your free will. Because free will can go to infinite expectation. And what I mean by the infinite expectation is there are parts of all this that is expanded. And so free will should be able to take you to all these things that expand. But that's where it falls short. It really can't do that. It really can't do that because it's limited just in its scope. And then they're making you strive for this. Strive that this is the way. So that's funny, Lorenzo. Oh, you haven't been here in a while. Well, thank you for joining me. A lot of Europeans look the same. Yeah, I mean, sort of do. But you can go in the hoods and see that same kind of thing too. You get to seeing everybody looking the same. And I ain't talking about phenotypes. I'm just talking about everybody just has that same gruff, unjoyful look. Okay. I'm good there. It must be magic because it feels so good to me. Oh. Just making some adjustments here. I'll get it in a second. And I hope everybody, has had a good have time to meditate. Summer is a great time to meditate. There's a lot of light. A lot of light in the summertime. I think I got in 3 meditations today. Even though I was busy in between, I was able to get in pretty deep. I should tell about this experience. I guess I will. I don't know what was going on the other night. But and this is a little Back to the Future shit. And so I'm sleeping and I don't know what happened. I'm awoken by my younger self standing over me. My younger self woke me up and said, "You got to breathe." And it used my nickname. It said, "Toby, you got to breathe." My younger self. So I look up and I see my younger self shaking me. And my younger self says, "Breathe." So I must have stopped breathing while I was asleep. And I'm like, wow. My younger self stepped in. And I'm not understanding why that it needed to help 60-year-old me or what it needed me around still for, but that was kind of a surprise. It's like, wow, okay, younger me had to step in. So it was like, younger me, okay, thank you, younger me. Don't normally get that kind of thing. And so there's all kind of experiences you can have that this thing can't explain. And I wasn't hallucinating. I didn't have any shrooms or DMT. It was just out of my sleep. I'm being shaken out of my sleep by my younger self. I'm waking up looking at my younger face. It wasn't a dream. It wasn't in my dream screen. I know my dream screen and what that is. It wasn't in that. It was clearly another me standing over me. So younger me came to the rescue. Don't know why, because it looked like 1980 something me. But some kind of way, 1980 something me was able to push through. So right on. Right on. And there's no way that you can rationally explain that kind of thing. I haven't done meditations. If you took the first shot, I honestly think you'll need to worry in the future. Could be. I haven't done meditation in a few months. Oh, I do it every day. It's said that when a couple date each other for a long period of time, they start looking alike. Not only that, they start sounding alike too, staying the same. They talk alike, they look alike, and they sound alike. They talk alike. They use the same phrasing. I remember Wolfhead, and I'm not going to tell his whole story, but I remember being around him and his girl, and he would go grab some beer or something. I would sit there talking to her, and we'd be talking, and it was like the same mannerisms and everything. I remember when my stepmother offended one of my friends. My ex-wife had a lifelong friend come visit us. I think she lives up in Delaware, and they were visiting, and my father had an old joke. When he would talk about his nephews and relatives, he would say, looking like a runaway slave. And so here's, because my stepmother's European, and here's this European woman, because I asked about one of my cousins, and she imitated my father. She's like, oh, he okay, still looking like a runaway slave. And I remember we got home because the young lady was staying with us, and she said that offended the shit out of me. I'm like, yeah, I was kind of cringing too when she said it, but it was like she felt it was okay for her to say because she's married to my dad. So she felt she had a pass to say that. But I just never forget. I was thinking about that earlier today. It's like, but that's what happens is, we start sounding alike, talking alike, being hip, having that hip acting. Uh, I need to make time. It slips my mind to meditate. Reese, just take a few minutes. I mean, as I said before, blinking is basically a way of meditating. You're pausing. You're pausing, and I know you're protecting your eyes, but once you control everything, you can even see that can be a type of a moment for yourself, just blinking your eyes. And we're too often like the way we talk, we don't even hardly wait. It's like when we talk to each other, we're like talking over each other in a way because we have something to say when we're engaging. Whereas if you look back and you wait, and you can take the blinking of the eyes as a hesitation to get what you want to say that's right, that's a possibility too. 2 weeks ago, I tried gummies from a company called Moonwalker, and my dumbass didn't follow the rules. And instead of taking one or two, taking one, I took two and I was too so paranoid. Well, I mean, one thing you have to understand is when you eat THC, it's going to keep releasing till it's done. And so sometimes THC can release adrenaline, and adrenaline can definitely make you paranoid because it's constantly releasing. But what you have to understand is it's the chemical because of the way you ingested it. You ingested it, so it's going to slower. It's going to keep releasing until it runs out. It kind of reminds you back in the day where a dude would take an acid like on the weekend, and then he'd have a flashback like in the following week. Be sitting in school or some shit and be stoned like a motherfucker, be having an acid flashback and shit. And out of nowhere, you be acid high. You be acid high. I wrote it like a screenplay where a dude that took some acid one time to a certain song, and every time every time he would hear the song, he would just start dancing and shit and breaking it down, and that was the way his enemies would react to it. He would try to be getting business done, and they'd play the song, and he couldn't help but dance and shit. Because that acid was in the system. So that shit would make him dance. It's like two things I do daily is I have to listen to music and I have to meditate. Your outer self experience, yeah. Kind of, Sean. Yeah. I see a new cast of people every time I go to Target and never see them again. I never seen the same people at Target shopping. It's just weird. What are the odds? that is depending on the area too. Depending on the area, it would have been better if you took half. Yeah, I could dig it. I meditate when I'm buzzed. I do it with or without. I prefer with, but I do it both. I do it both, with and without. Both seem to work for me. Both seem to be perfect. So it's just taking the time to quiet your mind, work on yourself, cut out the all the voices in your head, make it be your own voices. At least that's what works best for me, where I can be centered. It usually happen when you have the European woman dating the melanated man. Then European women get too comfortable when they dating us. Yeah, and I used to always get on my little nieces. Like they start dating brothers and this nigga this and nigga that. And I'm like you even see it on Facebook. Chicks that mostly date brothers. The way they talk. These niggas out here, and it's like, okay, coming from you, it doesn't sound like just criticism. It sounds like a little bit of that other word. But that's cool talk. That's being a sister girl. You know, European chicks want to become sister girls. I remember my ex talked about her car and she was like, "Oh, it's Gucci on the highway." I'm like, "Oh, okay, Gucci on the highway, huh?" But it's like now everybody wants to say the end of the day spell, the parrot spell. I guess that sounds like if you use the parroting spell, that's like you're I guess you're with the times. I don't know. It becomes interesting. It becomes interesting. Just some observations. I get so high off edibles. I started to trance. Oh, that's cool, Mr. Lamborghini. I like trance, and someone got timed out. Someone got timed out. Oh, okay. I didn't even see it. That was my first experience with THC. Oh, I don't know if you want to take an edible the first time. My friend, my best friend, he said he did, and he said he got the puking and shit. He took the edible, and the edible made him puke. He ate a cookie, and the cookie, he said he could taste the bud, because you can taste the THC. It's that strong smell. And yeah, he said he puked. Like, yeah, it wasn't for me. Probably would help his pain too, but yeah, he puked on that crap. I wouldn't mind dating a European lady. When it comes to being a sister girl, that's when most of them turn off. Turn it off. There you go. Because that's just like it's now. See, anybody has witnessed this. It's like I've witnessed people like they have to sing every song, like singing all the songs, that they up to all the songs. That makes them cool. That makes them in the club. I mean, it's just like behaviors I'm sure everybody has once experienced. It's like, okay, that get your card there because you know all the songs. I don't know. I just always found that funny. And they want to sing all the songs and shit. So you've listened to some radio. Okay. I think we'll date because you listened to some radio. Can you do the Watusi? That's what I thought. See, the Watusi, if you could have did the Watusi, you'd have been in there. But you can't even do the Watusi. Like Richard Pryor would be talking about the handshakes and shit. Oh, motherfucker, you ain't cool. You can't even do the handshake because you say the shit always would change. You know what that sold handshake that's turned into when the basketball players before the games. Now all the the soul handshake, the soul brother, the Vietnamese, the Vietnam brother, the Bloods handshake now. You see it before the basketball games. I don't know if people realize that. That come from what you see before basketball games basically come from Vietnam vets. Oh, that's nothing. Look up the Bloods handshake. Tell me you don't see a lot of that same kind of thing before the basketball games. Used to be you just shook the coach's hand. And then it would start funny. Players started giving the refs high five or giving them pound. You get a ref's pound before the games. Because I've had players come shake my hand before the games. Okay. Which I didn't mind. I wasn't offended one way or the other. I don't know. It's just observations. Not picking on anybody. It's just observations of a 60-year-old man. That's all it is. Oh, this is funny. This is how much the algorithm pay attention to what we say. Now, last week I was talking shit about when Zach got, when Lord Jamar showed Zach's book, and I said that motherfucker was giddy. Don't you know I'm watching Fox and the chick uses giddy? I have never heard anyone on TV say that word before. And then I say it last week, and then all of a sudden I hear the algorithm say it. So motherfuckers, more ears be listening than what we think. What is the odds that I say that word that I ain't never heard anybody on TV use, and then it's used by a news person? What is the odds of that? What do you think that's telling us? That the algorithm pays attention. Oh, a new word got said. So you'll have to get giddy in today. There you go, right there. Giddy, get it in this line. And then she'll read it off the teleprompter. And you see, I don't go back and forth with anybody because I don't just try to demean motherfuckers that I disagree with. That's all it is a disagreement. And we as men should be able to disagree. You don't like my shirt one day, that's okay. That don't make us enemies, and I got to go do a whole story about you. And we see a lot of that. Motherfuckers have to do stories about people. Do several episodes. Talking shit about people. Get a life. Do action. Help people. It's like motherfuckers read my Facebook shit and that's the end, It's like what I write on Facebook is my total personality. That's just some venting shit. That's just venting. It don't mean if you sit down with me, that's all I got to talk about. Well, no, I don't care about your family. We've got to talk about this. No, I don't care about your family. I don't care about your job. We've got to talk about this. It's just opinions. Free thinkers. Now, that's the word. More than free will, you want to be a free thinker. You want to be a person that doesn't get, what's the word? You don't get mesmerized easy. Because that's what the beast relies on. The mind relies on being mesmerized. That's what the parroting spell is for. When everybody's speaking alike, it shows that you are under their control. So when you say the end of the day, you are under their control. LeBron, oh, okay, I missed it. I'm on the line weak. LeBron does the handshake with all his teammates. There you go, Gray. I prefer opioid over TC edible. Okay. He said you wouldn't shake his hand. They gave the commentators the pound too. So you're not even surprised. They keep their ears to the ground. Yeah, they definitely do. They definitely do. I think Zach has temper issues. He don't like being disagreed with. As I've said, he reminded me of my own business partner. Hear you asking for people to invest in you, and then you get mad when they ask you a question. The first thing in sales is if they're talking about what you're selling. And that's what he didn't understand. You want to give your pitch, and then you want it to go around the room. You don't want to sit there and you're mad because these people question you about it. Like your pitch is at the end of the sales. That's how this dude was. He thought once he got talking, that answered every question. There's always questions. There's always other questions. Well, how do we know this shit work? We ain't just gonna believe you. What evidence have you showed that this shit works? That motherfucker be pissed like a motherfucker. You know, he'd be seething and shit. The collar be all hot. You know, they say motherfucker used to get hot around the collar and shit. You know, motherfuckers, old TV shows, you know, the collar be smoking and shit. Motherfucker be hot. Hot around the collar, mean you be upset and shit. Cartoons, motherfucker do that, and the goddamn steam engine of steam come around your damn collar. Dudes are funny. People are funny. Phoenix Moon has no grammar killers. Candace Owens said some words on one of her debates to Congress. So yeah, they listening. Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Candace Owens, yeah, she used Sister Phoenix. Okay. Yeah, Tiger Strong, he definitely is. He capped for them. I don't care. I don't even want to go over the shit anymore. Everybody knows it's the Jewish faith people. It's probably like the Black Widow show. There's probably one Jewish faith dude that really run things because they love kings. That's the problem with the way wherever these people come from, wherever them people come from, they like kings. And so they probably do have one king. That's the kind of thing they like. And that king's family has privilege. So that's more than likely. If you look at their history always loves kings. And then the king's families and then nobles, and it runs like that. But yeah, when you have too many people tooting the same horn, yeah, you know that it's agenda. And this is a part of Gematria. This is the fault of it. It's a divination. When you have the matches, that's a divination. And it's very subjective. Because some people could say, wait a minute, you need 5 different ciphers to get this shit to add up. How does that shit add up? I want to see the shit where one number, you put in a word, and you show me 3 things, and the 3 things should add up all together. Not I put in 5 different ciphers, and then it's 5 different numbers. Well, what about these numbers that don't match? What does that mean? Oh, you're supposed to ignore those. You're only supposed to pay attention to the numbers that match. You see in this word up here, there's 33, and then that word down there's 33. Well, what about the 15 and the 10s? That don't play? So that's why it's a divination. It ain't no different than a pendulum. It's still a divination. Gematria and gematria is the same thing. It's divination. So you can't ignore 5 other ciphers that don't match and say, well, the one that does, these are equal. You see the same pattern? That's the weakness of it because it's subjective. That's the weakness of it. But I understand it's divination. And so when they see the patterns that match, that's a divination. It's not an absolute. Because you got 4 other words that don't match or 4 other ciphers that don't match. But they just ignore that part. Bob Proctor, and he said most people only think 1 or 2 times a year. Yeah, you said it's better he doesn't like people disagreeing with him. Nah. Yeah, that motherfucker be hot. He be hot. But you can tell when motherfuckers be capping, he like that they cap for him. Like he has some young dude on at the end. I like Rambo. Rambo is all right. Rambo put some good shit together. I don't know why Rambo doesn't put more out. Makes me wonder about him, but he is better than Zach to me, as far as practically using it. I like Rambo's the way he comes about it. And Rambo loves the divine feminine. I thought Derek was okay. I got to find Derek's channel again. I thought Derek was okay. They still use Derek's shit, even though he talked shit about Derek. And he was mad because Derek was on some other show. The motherfucker talk, he said he was talking shit about Zach because he's laughing, and Derek didn't defend him. Come on now. It ain't another man's job to defend you. It's just a show. It's just a show. That's all. But teach his own. Teach his own. I like that he went out to the streets. That's a good thing. It is. And he's attacked even though it's probably them people doing the attack to make it seem legitimate. I understand that. A lot of people pick sides. That's it. I ain't really picked a side. I'll stay in the middle. What do you think about drinking the blood of Jesus? I mean, that's I would dare say like if there's a type of white magic, that is that white magic shit. That is like it's vampirism, really. It's saying, you eat the wafer is the body, and then you drink the blood. That's vampirism. That's really what you practice. I mean, hell, you've been in a Catholic church. My great grandmother and them was Catholic, so that shit. When you was in Catholic churches, you think Dracula about to jump out of every corner when you young. They be playing that like Phantom of the Opera music and shit. The Ghost and Mr. Chicken kind of music and shit. You like looking around and that shit's vibrating and you like, God damn, Dracula's about to come out of this motherfucker. So that's what it is. It's a type of vampirism. It's a type of vampirism. Spiritual substance, because you're taking the body, because that's what they worship. That's necromancy. They worship a dead being. So that's necromancy, technically. It would be under that. So you better blow that shit out. Talks about all that stuff about Jay-Z for 10 years. Jay-Z supposedly blocked him, got him jumped. He went on and selling merchandise as Rat Nation. Now he's working with him. Well, that's how it goes. He was trying to get his attention. And so Jay knew he was cheap. And so Jay was able to get him off his back for cheap. He was like a pesky fly around your ear. And so they knew that they give him some scraps and he'd be right back. And that's the pitiful thing. He was trying to get scraps. He was doing all that shit to get scraps. Oh, did he? Okay, Chris. I ain't know that. I got to look him up because it's a bunch of motherfuckers I watched before. I mean, hell, my channel went back to 14. Yeah, that channel went back to 14, I think. And so there's a bunch of motherfuckers. I just had to remember their names. I'd have forgot a bunch of people. So I had a doctor that was on my thing, and I got her book though, so I know her name, but I got to look her back up because she was nice with hers. I mean, about all this and what's helpful for you. So yeah, I had to find Derek. Is Derek Simple Truths? Okay, thank you for telling me that. I'm talking about the Gematrinator. Yeah, the Gematrinator. Yeah, Derek. I like Rambo. Yeah, I like Rambo too. That's cannibalism. Yeah, it is. Not Dracula. Oh my goodness. You ain't been in the Catholic Church when you little? Ooh, it is spooky. And that it ain't no Baptist sunshine. Tambourine been playing bass and dude kicking the drum. It ain't. That's Pentecostals get down. Both my it was quite a sight. My brother ever hears this, he'll get a kick when our grandmother would get the spirit. I mean, watching her dance, and it just always reminded me how when she was young, how the way that she would move and stuff. And so I always got a kick out of watching her. I noticed my father's mother, she never got happy though. That was a funny thing because we used to bet. When I became a teenager, I would only go when I got a bunch of people to bet who got happy first because I could see people who was faking, but it was like who was going to get happy first. We used to make bets. We'd be back there sitting in the back, and we'd see and like whoever would win, we'd all give the money out. And we had like one, two, three, or four, Sister so and so, Sister so and we bet who would get happy first. And I remember when my son, we uh, we were at my grandmother's funeral, and Pentecostals like like the sisters be ushers and they be dressed in nurses outfit, and my son like look, I don't remember how old he was, but he looked really concerned. He's like, Dad, I've never been to a church where they got nurses. Is something gonna happen in here? I mean, is something gonna happen here? Why is the nurses in here, Dad? And I just wanted to die laughing. I'm like, well, they're just helpful. Somebody might fall out or something, He's like, well, fall out how? I'm like, well, these people get to clapping, and sometimes they can't stop clapping, and they clap so much where they just fall out, and the nurses have to help them. He's like, okay, so if I clap and not stop clapping, will they? Like, yeah, if you clap, I'm gonna clobber you. So shut up. But he was logically thinking. What book are you talking about? What book? I've lost my thought on what book, Mr. T Gaming. Every time my mom was catching the Holy Ghost at church, I got embarrassed. I understand that. The Catholic Church. Oh my goodness. As a little boy, and they're big. Most Catholic churches are big, and they're all pretty much made out of stone, marble, and just the way they have that weird, like I said, the Ghost of Mrs. Chicken. They got the organ with the pipes in the walls and shit. So the shit is echoing and shit. Yeah, and you be hearing that, that Freddy Krueger movie music, or that Halloween, that man, I'd be looking around. I was a little boy. I wasn't digging that. I really wasn't when I was little. Because it was like from one extreme to the other. It's like one minute, yeah, feeling good and shit. And the other, and I'm like, then they made you like dress up and wear a tie. The other one, you put a sweater on or a long sleeve shirt. We went to the Catholic churches. We wore suits. The other churches, we didn't wear suits. But she made sure we all wear suits. And me and my cousins, we all in there and hot under the collar and shit. We all got our suits on. Says that Jesus was hung on a tree, not a cross. So why are they making the blood on a cross or doorstep? Exactly. That gets into the laughing Jesus. That's the laughing Jesus says that. The laughing Jesus, two dudes is getting it on, smoking, and he's like, man, what, you ain't worried? Look what they doing to your boy. And he's like, they hanging your boy up on that tree. And he's like, that's all they doing is they hanging an old rag on the tree, just like you put clothes on the line to dry and fling in the air. That's all they doing. Me and you sitting over here smoking a blunt, drinking, we laughing at the shit. They think they're killing what I am. They're only killing that rag. They're not killing what I am. That's the laughing Jesus. But yeah, it's definitely necromancy. Yep. Yep. Good times though. Oh, it was fun. It was fun. I mean, didn't disrespect. And then after a while, I saw my grandfather didn't go, and I got bigger, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not going. And then my mom and them, when my grandparents got older, I spent one summer with my aunt, and my aunt, I think she thought she was going to put Jesus in my life, and so they would go to bed at 8 or 9 o'clock. I was sitting there, I always been a reader, so I'd sit there and read. And one day she made me go to bed at 9 o'clock, and she said, "Don't be in there reading. I know you got the light on. Turn the light off." Next day, I ran away to my grandmother's. I'm like, yeah, I can't take you. Oh, and I went to church with her. You went to church all day. Sunday was like a marathon of church on Sundays with my aunt. Marathon. We would go to multiple churches, not just one. We would go to multiple churches and eat and stay. I did like the eating part. Every church we went to, they fed me. I did like that part. But we was at each church 3-4 hours. We would go to multiple churches, staying 3-4 hours. I was hot under the collar. Couldn't do it. So I ran away from that aunt. I'm like, yeah, I can't do it. I'm talking about that book from that doctor. Yeah, I can give you her name. Let me find her. Yeah, cause she's in my room. But yeah, I know the name. I'll find her name here. It's not gonna be too hard to look her up. Her name. Hey, I need to look her up again. Let me see. It's here. It don't take me too long to look her up. Oh, I gotta order some more. She legit. They lied. It was not a 5 month supply, more like 2.5 months. And I didn't overuse. No, that's not it. Wait, this one. No, not that one. She's in here. I know. I'm just looking at the shit I ordered, and it should be in here. Cause man, let me see. Did I pass what she hustles? Yeah, I ordered a lot of shit, as you can see. Right here. No, that ain't it. It's in here. Oh, right here. Oh, is this her book? Kathy. Let me see. She's got something to do with that lady, but let me see. There's another book. Oh, what is this called? Did anybody see the Hooping Robot? Because they took my video, they struck my video down. Now this must be. Oh, right here. Here's her name. Yep, right here. Her name is Healing with DMSO. Her name is Amanda Vollmer. Healing with DMSO, and then you can get DMSO on eBay. But it's Healing with DMSO, the complete guide to safe and natural treatment for man. And her name is Amanda Vollmer. That's Vollmer. And let's see, DMSO is not very expensive. Seemed like I passed it. I don't feel like looking for it, but that's her name. That's a pretty good book. And DMSO is a good cleanser too. KD getting his third medal. What was the game on? Because 1 minute they doing track and field, and they show him warming up, and then the next thing I know, the game didn't come on. Oh, did y'all see? Man, what was it? The men's 400 meter. Did y'all see the 400 meter? Was it the hurdle or just the regular run where the two dudes broke? They both broke the world record. And then the sister that did the 400 meter last night, that sister walked her down. Because I was thinking midway through the race, she was pacing it nice. But that last corner, I was like, wow, she's kind of back. But she kicked it. And then I saw when they jumped over that last hurdle, that other girl didn't have it. You could just see her stride she was like really kind of forcing it, where this little sister just kept and just stepped her down. That's the beautiful thing about the track and field. And sometime it looked like some of them races be blowed. Did y'all see the shit, the shot put? Motherfucker shot putting like damn near half a football field and shit. Last time I went to services was 09. It was this slim woman that caught the Holy Ghost so strong that she started lifting the church benches. That sounded like she turned into the Hawk and shit. Oh, that sounds like she turned into the Hawk. In your face, annoying, acting like they rule you. Plus, they want that. They want that money too. You know, I saw one dude, and it really turned me off. I mentioned this several times. She stopped paying as much as she was paying. You know, her tithes. She bought a new car, so she couldn't pay him as much. She got insurance and new car payment. And this preacher did and said, some people put a new car before God. And I'm looking at him like, no, she's putting what's practical for her, what her work shows she can afford, and she gonna pay you less because that's practical. But he shamed her in front of everybody. And that was like, yeah. And then okay, I'm gonna talk more shit about this preacher. I sat in a meeting with this preacher. And this preacher, I was wondering, first of all, he got a lot of the fellows together in the neighborhood that was doing things, younger dudes. So, and I'm sitting here and I'm like, I was trying to figure out what was the angle. And so I was just sitting there listening. And this is what this preacher, and I think he still got a church in Battle Creek, Michigan. This preacher told the dope dealers that they need to give him money and they all can start investing in real estate. He pretty much said in front of all these witnesses that he was willing to launder money for these dope dealers. And I was like, he surprised me. I'll say that. It was like, and I looked at all their faces, and now I don't know if I quit fucking with him after that, because I was like, yeah, I'm not fucking with you, because you could be one of them people too. But I never forgot that. I was like, what was so interesting that he wanted to get all these young cats, and he pretty much told them he wanted to launder money in the name of God. Healing with DMSO. No, it's one more L. Yep. Healing with DMSO by Amanda Vollmer. Yep. 2 L's. Yep. Oh, you found it. Yeah. Peacock Premium. The game is on Peacock. You got to pay $5 to watch it. Oh, okay. Team USA gold medal. They beat Australia. Okay. Oh, I wasn't gonna pay $5. Wait a minute. I got 6 NBC channels, and you telling me I gotta pay $5 plus the 6 because I got them NBC channels? That's extra because I got the sports thing, and you telling me I gotta pay extra? Okay, yeah, fuck your extra. They'll show the replay. I started thinking those shot puts aren't heavy as they say. Team USA got humiliated. Now they finna win gold. Probably so, CWE. How can they travel that far with that weight? I think what they 16 pounds. The hammer shit looked fun in the motherfucker. I couldn't I would like to go back in time, that medieval shit where I was throwing hammers at motherfuckers. I could just spin around, and if they rush me, when they rush me, I'm spinning around with the hammer, I'm hitting motherfuckers, and then I'm throwing that shit and hitting a couple people. That shit looked kind of fun to me. Like the javelin did too, like when you used to throw javelins at motherfuckers, that javelin was war. And you would throw the javelin at a motherfucker, ain't too many people gonna survive being javelined, because the javelin could go on through you and go out your back and go like in the ground, and you just stuck like there with a big javelin through you. So I like the things where they have war. I still don't understand the point of the steeplechase. There is a horse race called a steeplechase, but I never understand, why do they need to jump over the water? Is like, is that like symbolizing in war where you would jump over a river? I don't think that's possible, but I'm just trying to wonder where it comes from. Why the water and shit? Look at the force they hit the ground. Jack Lake preaching. It's on Peacock. That's under NBC, which is crazy. Exactly. I have 6 or 7. 6 or 7. Because, the Golf Channel showing it too. The Golf Channel show Olympic golf. Oh, did anybody watch the skateboard? Man, the little dude that won, did you see that shit he did? This motherfucker flips in the air, like flipping, and how did he do that shit? He grabbed the skateboard one way, he turned it over the other way, and then put it under his legs and landed perfectly. That shit was some crazy shit. How he was flipping, and like say the skateboard is facing this way, he turns the motherfucker this way and lands on it perfectly as he grabbed it in the air and turned that motherfucker around. That shit was like, whoa. I like that. That shit was kind of smooth. Like, god damn. Remember, because the Olympic trials, they had old ass Tony Hawk. Did any of y'all old enough to remember the Tony Hawk that was the little, remote control Tony Hawk on the skateboard where you could make him, turn and circle and shit? That was one of the most bullshit toys I ever bought my son. So Christmas, we get this thing, and this thing wasn't cheap. it comes with an extra battery pack. Then you had to go out and pay 50, 60 more dollars to get the battery pack to make the motherfucker work. So like they couldn't have told me that in the store. When you buy this, you got to buy that shit too. No. But it was the Tony Hawk little remote control car like. Oh yeah, watch that. If you get a replay of that skateboard and shit, it was a little girl that got bronze. A 13-year-old girl got bronze. And that shit she did some flipping shit in the air that was pretty cool too. And she's only 13. But it's amazing. Like really all of it is still tied up in the energy of the infinite ball game. And you know, it's the expression that a person can do while moving through his or her sport is really can be breathtaking. I mean, just the natural way a person can run, you know, run fast, run long. You know, running long is an army thing. You know, that used to be, that goes back into war where, you know, you had different legs that was the way you kind of kept your communication going. You had people that could run ahead. You know, you send eyes ahead, and then later when it came in horses, you put the cavalry out there scouting for you to see where the enemy is. And of course, when you had cars and you could, you know, tanks, you could put that shit out there, but came back from people running. I remember the video game on PlayStation. I hate when they don't include batteries, but it was like you had to get this big ass battery, not the little batteries. I'm talking about you had to get this whole unit. This was not the little, you know, batteries. I'm talking about you had to get the battery pack, which it didn't say. And maybe I just didn't read it, but you had to get a separate battery pack before this motherfucker would work. So, yeah, Tony Hawk Pro Skater. There you go. American Wasteland was the best. Oh, okay. That's why they say parts sold separately on commercials. I guess so, because we had to get the battery pack before the thing worked. So yeah, battery pack. You know, like this computer got a battery pack. You had to get some shit like that. It was some stuff like that. Wow, I've been going this long. Wow. And my daughter's coming over earlier, and her mom was like, "Do you feel comfortable going to your dad's house while he's asleep?" And I'm looking at her like, "What are you talking about? She just come in and do what she normally do." She usually, this is pretty much her computer. I only use it really when I'm doing shows, but it's pretty much her computer. She'll come in, get her something to eat, and sit her little ass down here where we clean in the room and set in the room so she can have that room. So, view Medieval Knievel Stunts faked. Was Evil Knievel Stunts faked? Well, he really didn't jump across the Grand Canyon. He kind of was in a parachute. He put a car behind like a dragster's body, and he kind of boosted it over some shit that wasn't that far. So he didn't Evil Knievel over the Grand Canyon. He just kind of like had a dragster's body and pushed it over a cliff, and the parachute came out. So if you want to see vintage Evil Knievel, watch when that motherfucker jump over the Trevi Fountain and he don't make it. And you see that motherfucker, that shit hit, that like he jumps over, and when he lands, it breaks the rails, and he's standing up. When that shit breaks, like it comes down and then front rails break, and he's standing up, and then he hits his shoulder that tore his shoulder up, and then the way his body bounced. Look that up when he fails Trevi Fountain. So that's he's lucky to be alive. He got bounced around. So some of the shit, but not that shit when he fucked up. Because them rails broke. Watch that shit when he come down. I think you only gonna see it in black and white. I don't think I've ever seen it in color. When he fails, and I don't think it was the first time. I think it was like he did it again. And when he did it again, or maybe he added another bus or some shit, but it's in black and white. And they're like, it's a front view of when he come down and then forks break or whatever broke. I'm pretty sure his forks broke. And he kind of stands up. Like I told the story, I watched these two dudes go by me on the highway. And they was like two dudes riding on a motorcycle, two brothers. and they buzzed around me. And when they went like near the air base, about to go over this bridge, they hit a buck, and both them dudes just stood up. I mean, they was going about 60 on a motorcycle, two of them, and they hit that buck, and that shit did like this, and it stood them up, and then they both flipped, and they're rolling down the highway, and I'm behind them driving, and I'm looking at these dudes. I'm looking at these two dudes roll down the highway, and so I pulled across, and I got them out the road. I was like, they were stunned like a motherfucker. I'm like, I'm really just pulled them off the highway because they were stunned. I mean, they were stunned. And then they told me, I'm like, man, I'm gonna take this buck unless y'all want it. And they said they wanted it, and they didn't even take it. I went by the next day, it was still there. I would have took that thing, cut that motherfucker up, bled that shit out, and took it to the meat man. Had him cut it up. But that was some funny shit to see. To see them two dudes rolling head over heels like this. They was rolling like balls because of momentum, and they had the helmets on, but it was kind of funny to watch. Kind of funny to watch. Mm. But this Olympic shit's about over. Oh, and people was wondering, one thing, like with the Olympic seats and the seats being empty, you notice all the seats is black and white, and so that's them giving heed to the Masons. And it's like the other thing is, the other enchantment was why wouldn't they put 2021 in there? Why did they stick to the 2000 number? So some kind of enchantment by saying, because the beginning of the shit, I was wondering was this replay? What is this? Why are they showing 2020? So that's the type of enchantment that they needed those numbers. Why aren't you telling that kind of goddamn gematria? It's just a joke. That's all. 44, Cody. But yeah, that's what it is. Why the empty seats, and the empty seats is gray. Because you notice the seats where the coaches sit ain't gray. It's just most of the empty seats is gray. And they took a hit on the bread. I mean, they just getting TV money. They ain't getting any gate monies, and them stadiums big as hell. What, the track and field stadium, about 80,000? I guess the TV money is good enough. I don't know. It's just me. Is everybody in the Olympics a sellout? I mean, there's some organics parts. I'm thinking that skateboarding might have been some organic about it. Like nobody gives a fuck about the bicycling. You know, when they go around the track and shit, the Major Taylor kind of shit, where they just ride around the track. Nobody cares about that. Team handball, nobody cares about that. So, I mean, there's parts of it that's organic, like water polo. You know, you think there's hot bets on water polo? Well, you know, I like those Spanish in water polo. Or field hockey. Do you think there's the big lines on field hockey? Some of that shit the bettors don't care about. They don't really care about, unless it's somebody's individual and they got a lot of money. Yeah, some of that shit people don't care about. People don't care about that shit. So I will say there's some organic about it. Let me see. There was a couple things I did want to break or study. Let me see if it's all here. Let's see. Now I don't know why they told this story, but they say that they found a star that didn't. Let me see. How did they put this so I say it right? So a star. Okay. So a star survived as a part of a supernova. And they're telling you that this star is going fast through and out of the solar system. Now again, that looks like the one-eye symbol, but it's just wondered. It made me wonder, why is this of interest? What are they really trying to tell us? Oh, and they'll probably get me again for this. Um, if y'all didn't see this shit, here we go. All right, here we go. I'll show a picture of this shit if I can freeze it. What do we have here? They'll do anything to replace the original Americans. Replace them with some bullshit. Here we go. I didn't even do it. I'm going to have to go the other way. Go out. Oh, this is crap. Oh, here we go. No, I can't throw it. Okay, I got to do it the way. That's right. I can only do it this way. I'll show it. Can't show it long. Did anybody see that shit? Anybody catch that? When they showed it make one and miss one, and for some reason they took this off. They struck this down. And they showed this robot fucking shooting threes and shit. It's too small, you can't really see. Make one and he missed one. I don't know why they struck that down. Well, I do know, because that's the future. Not only do they'll get rid of the European players, they'll get rid of all the players. Remember the Jetsons. Remember the Jetsons? So those of you that watched the Jetsons, remember they played with football players that was all robots? That's what that show. Remember, anybody watch the Jetsons? The Jetsons, when they show football, it was robots play football, not people. Robots. So now they got a robot shooting threes. What do you think? They would want to sit brothers down quick. And then they give all this money to Steph Curry, and I ain't pocket watching, but I'm like, this dude is in his 30s. They gave Chris Paul damn near 40 a year. Patty Mills. Now, those of you that are basketball players or basketball enthusiasts, you know they got the rookie games. You telling me that Patty Mills in his 30s is better than some of them rookies that played in Vegas? Patty Mills, who definitely shouldn't have made it, got preferential treatment. And then they give Curry all this money, and he's 32, injury prone and small. Because you remember one time he was making $42 million a year. So remember when he got his first big contract, he was making 42. Who would have thought? If I knew how to swim, that's what Steph Curry is. If I played water polo, I wouldn't be trying to score. I would just get the ball and throw it like I am playing dodgeball. Oh yeah. You watch a water polo workout. My man Felix in Chicago. Felix stopped me. He's like, man, can you come up here during the week? And I'm like, what's going on? He said, we need people to do high school water polo. I want to say there was even days we did JV and varsity and just watched a couple videos about it and learn the rules. And you just, be on the side. Matter of fact, he would do a game and I would do a game. Like it'd be in separate pools. And you just walk up and down the side. It was kind of an easy gig. But it was just the swimming and, the play in high school wasn't as great. But I used to go to Chicago and do water polo games. Yep. The 44 Cody. Uh, that's what I loved about playing handball. Handball was cool because you could jump up in the air and palm it and do the Dr. J like shit, and and then throw it past the person. Yeah, I used to love that because you can only dribble 1, 2, 3 dribbles, and then you got to pass it. Yeah. Like I was trying to explain Australian rules football to my daughter, and she's like, "This shit is stupid." She's like, "It's a copy of football." I was like, "Well, more rugby-ish, kind of soccer rugby." Then we watched rugby, and she was like, "This is stupider than the other stuff." She said, I correct myself, Dad. This is stupider than that. I like that better than this. They're all on the ground, and your head is all in somebody's butt." And I'm like, "No, they're in a scrum." She's like, "No, Dad, their heads are like in other people's butts." I'm like, "No, they're called a scrum." She's like, "Yeah, would you do it?" No, I wouldn't do it, but I'm not them. But she had a point. You do kind of put your head all down in there like that. So I don't know. Yeah, I like handball though. I really do. I like handball. The Lakers win the title this year, they would be the oldest team to win it. The oldest was the 97-98 Bulls. The average was 30. The Lakers team is 31. And remember, Dennis Rodman, that last year had to be, well, 97, 36. So me and Rodman was 36, 36, 37. Yeah, because Rodman didn't go to the NBA till he was 25. Rodman was, that's what hurt Larry Bird. Larry Bird really only had 5 good years. They was talking about when Larry Bird was with the Dream Team, that Rodney Rogers was talking shit, and Larry Bird all of a sudden abracadabra and showed Rodney Rogers. I'm like, that's cap. Larry Bird was done. Dream Team Larry Bird was done. That was magic lighting. That was magic lighting. And so the Lakers want Anthony, that ain't gonna play defense. They want Westbrook, that ain't gonna play defense. You got rid of all your shooters. So it kind of reminds me when they had Jerry Rice and Tim Brown at receivers. They wasn't running by people. Laker comes from all these lakes in Minnesota. That's what the original name comes from, because it was once the Minneapolis Lakers. And we're the Minnesota Vikings and the Minnesota Timberwolves, not the Minneapolis Vikings and Minneapolis Timberwolves. But when there was a pro team in Duluth, they were the Duluth Eskimos. I saw rugby this Olympics, and why don't they pass the ball? You can't pass the ball. It's a lateral game. It's a lateral game. Like once you're in the scrum and it's your possession, you have 7 times, I think, to score it. Now, I think you have 10 times to actually score it. And if you don't score in them 10 times, you get a ball up and it goes the other way. But it's a lateral game. That's all it is. It's about laterally. Because if you watch it, when they do breakaways, it's somebody catches a lateral. But that's the first move. So they can't now. Australian rules football, you can dribble the ball once and you can punch it forward. That's whereas in rugby, it's nothing but lateral. That's the only way. You can kick the ball to push it down further to your goal. That's allowable. But if the other team gets possession, then they got 10 times. But if you can go get it and catch it. Australian rules football is almost like the old girls basketball. It seems like it's some people stay on defense all the time and some people stay on offense. That's what it seems. But they can kick like a 50-yard kick and get a score. Whereas rugby, you get less points for the kick, more points for the touchdown. That's where touchdown comes from. It's a rugby term. Because a rugby, when you score, you got to touch it down. I used to have some friends that did semi-pro rugby, and they used to fuck each other up. That's why I used to like watching it. They would just smash their heads. Yep. Yeah, exactly. Patty Mills. And that's what makes me mad. You taking away young people's, like, here's an undersized guard that's past his prime. He can't guard anybody. He can't guard anybody. So why do you want Patty Mills? They forced to keep him because, again, it's a gender driven. They want all these foreigners. Like Ricky Rubio should have been cut. They traded Ricky Rubio again, I think. Yeah, they got rid of Ricky Rubio for like the second or third time. He should have been cut. Why would anybody want him? That makes no sense that people would want Ricky Rubio. Yeah, rugby is like the option. Yeah, it's totally like the option. That's why it's you like if you see when they get ready for the scrum, look at where the other dudes line up. They line up to take the options. It's a totally option game. I think it's 10 times. You got 10 times to score. And if they hold you out, then you switch balls like that. But Australian rules football is rugby is tough. It is. I was like, nah, I ain't. They tried to get me to play that shit. I was like, nah. He's past his prime too, Tiger Strong. He's past his prime. When he got hurt, he ain't been the same. He's been hurt the last couple years. He's been kind of banged up. He ain't really been the same player. What was the version of football they played in PE? It was like capture the flag. We played a game called Speedball that I loved. It was just a passing game. You could take 3 steps and then you had to pass it, and you passed it down the field. And I remember we had a thing, and back then I was a quarterback, but I had a dude that was my defensive end that could throw. And so 2 passes, I'm in the end zone. And my spikes was so sweet, I would just like fingertip it and then straight down with the spike. Like I would just go over everybody, fingertip it, and then spike it in one move. It's like, you didn't catch it. I'm like, yeah, I'm about to sock you in your mouth. I did catch it. But I would catch it, and then like when I come down, I'm spiking it. It was so sweet. I think on that game in just gym class, I had something like 50-some touchdowns. But it was like 1 pass, 2 passes, and I'm in the end zone. Because we played like, gushers, like gassers. We played side to side. So they chopped up the field, and everybody played side to side. So that was a fun game. I used to have a book of just games, but that was a game I like playing that. Can we talk about week 0 in college football and the spread? I haven't looked at it. What was the? I wouldn't trade Rubio for a pack. Oh, there you go. They have 4 games: Illinois versus Nebraska. Nebraska was better. Hawaii versus UCLA. Hawaii doesn't travel well. UTEP versus New Mexico State. I'd have to look them up. And UConn versus Fresno State. Yeah, I would say Fresno State, not really knowing much. But Nebraska was but then again, what did Lovey's didn't did they fire Lovey? No, isn't Lovey still at Illinois? It seemed like Illinois started strong. That's right. Illinois had that run, and then the quarterback got hurt. So I'd have to see the point spread, but I would definitely pick UCLA over Hawaii just for the traveling. I don't know too much about UConn. UConn's football team ain't been too good, and they going all the way across country to Fresno State. So I would take UCLA and Fresno State for sure. Yeah, Rubio's definitely. Hey, so what's happening? A little bit of everything. You know me. I don't never have one subject. I go about everything. Talking about is we call ultimate football. We also had a game called Pick It Up and Run With It. Oh, you talking about what they call it, smear the queer or tackle Linda. What do we call it? Tacklina. It was called smear the queer or tacklina. Yeah, where you just throw the ball up and whoever get it, everybody can tackle them. Yeah, I would stay out of big groups of that. I would watch where it'd be a 20 people playing tacklina or smear the queer, and like, yeah. Before school, that was the last thing I wanted, to get tackled in the kind of rock dirt. Yeah, I didn't play that. You see the U.S. Oh, I missed it. So they said that you had to pay. Why the NBA so soft? Yeah, I think it's called that, Lorenzo. They pushing globalism. Oh, absolutely. Stern won a team over there. They won an NFL team at Wembley Stadium. They definitely won a team in Wembley Stadium. No doubt about that. They won a team there. And I don't know. I mean, what free agent gonna want to live over there? I mean, like I was saying about Hawaii, the problem with Hawaii is they got that long flight. That's a long flight over there, and then you got to play. You got to get your legs back, and then if you got to, the year where you have more away games and home games, that's tough. I know some people that hooped out there, and they could never get there. Could get it right. Always on planes. Always on planes. Yep. Ultimate football though. Okay. Hmm. I tell you, I've been a pickleball genius. I love playing pickleball. I think for my daughter's birthday, I'm gonna buy her a better racket and get me a better racket. So pickleball is fun. It's a good way of being active. They've just spent 3 million up here on a new pickleball facility. So I might have to do a video from it. Got to get my daughter better because it's some serious pickle. You can pay $200 for a paddle. I paid $20 for our stuff, and you can pay up to $200 just for one paddle. I paid $20 to just get a paddle, two paddles, and two balls. But it's fun. It's fun. I'm getting my daughter better because I went outside, and I don't want to dent up my garage door, so I was just popping it on the roof and playing it off the roof, just being active. Just trying to be active. No, Lovey Smith's not the coach; he's assistant coach. That's right for the Texans. Yeah, they had the new coach. Yeah, Illinois had a good team until their quarterback got hurt. And their quarterback got hurt. That kind of what did him in is he got hurt. That's kind of what did them in last year, which was very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. They had a good run. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, that's right. And then they about to trade Deshaun. Y'all see he didn't practice again. Deshaun didn't practice again today. So they got something working. Or something's going on. It's this case went away. And how do I want to say this? I am. How do I want to say this? People care about other people's business too much. It's like they give the weirdest publicity to talk about these thoughts that's on Instagram and dudes trying to get with them. It's like that. Why is that interesting? What, like, how people be pocket watching, you hole watching, like, who is this dude with? It's kind of the same kind of hole watching, like, which hole is he with now, or with the woman, which player is like the Kim Kardashian shit, which player is they with now? Like, who cares? Who cares? I just don't care like that. I remember playing wall ball. Okay, did Watson really do what they said? It's quiet now, so I don't think so. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like, you get do you know, like, do you understand how often players have gotten treatment throughout their whole life, their college life, pro life, going back to high school? I was getting treatment when I played high school ball. When I played high school basketball from having shin splints so bad, don't you know, after each practice, I didn't have, like, I didn't have school in the afternoon. I would sit in the treatment center putting heat on my legs before practice because my shin splints was so bad. And then I had to do it after practice too. So can you imagine? And then you go to college and you constantly getting treatment. So you telling me that just all of a sudden he's Mr. Freaky, get a massage man. Yeah, it's not believable. Yeah, they shamed the hell out of him. They did. Yeah, it just magically disappeared. Oh, watching. Yeah. Oh, watching. That's what it is, though. Motherfuckers be watching what these hoes doing, like what player, like, simple shit. It just amazes me how dudes be caring about that shit and think that's good content. Well, this whole here is like got this rookie, and she just put a thing on him, and now she's going to get child support from him for 18 years, and he was too stupid to know better. Well, okay, he was just too stupid to know better, but is it worth the post? Is it worth the talking about? Like, watching. I don't think it's worth talking about. Why do they shame Rashawn? Why do they shame certain players? I mean, look at what they just did to the girl in the Olympics. And super sly, I did talk about the chick was forced to be out. And of course, she was forced to be out before. I mean, that's what it's not like they just told her you're not gonna come right then. They told her before she started how it was gonna play out. We're gonna make you sit out. We're gonna give you a little shaming. We're gonna let the little Hmong girl win, and then we'll let you come back and you medal and get you an add to your chips. Course before. A course before. That's all I said. As soon as I looked at the story, it's like she was told to do that. So I think I said it probably first though. Because I said she was told to be out. Right. They let the Asian girl get to go. The Hmong girl. Yeah, they let the Hmong girl. And Hmong are historically Chinese that went into Southeast Asia. That's who the Hmong are. And I had neighbors when I was with my daughter's mother and we had this bigger house. We had neighbors. I've said their story. These people had lived here since the 80s and they ain't speak English. They were Vietnamese, so they owned a Vietnamese restaurant for 30 years. These people didn't speak English, just the young people. But the dude my age and his parents, it was like great grandparents. And then the dude my age, and you could tell the dude my age used to fight. You could tell. But they didn't speak English. These is like 3 generations. Like I thought the people my age spoke English. I was trying to talk to them and they was hitting me with that Hmong, the Vietnamese. I think Mandarin, maybe Mandarin. I'm not sure, but yeah. Do you think people will march the Capitol Hill for the vaccine? Sly would say them dudes down the street be hoe watching. Yeah. Do you think will there march about the vaccine? It ain't the cities. Why would march on Capitol? March in your cities. That's the ones that's trying to enforce it. That's the ones that's trying to make you saying you can't work. Say if you work for the city, say you can't go to a restaurant. You don't need to go to restaurants anymore. You don't need to go to the mall anymore. Oh, and what they say, when the weather nice, you can sit outside. You ain't got to go in the restaurant. So I know in the winter time, but so it's like, damn, that fucks me all up. I just can't go in a restaurant anymore. Who gives a fuck about restaurants anymore? Okay, here we go. You used to go to a restaurant to eat pizza. Remember Pizza Hut used to be a restaurant? Godfather's Pizza used to be a restaurant. People don't eat pizza in restaurants anymore, do they? Not really. People really don't. There's no real pizza place that's just pizza that you go in to eat in a restaurant anymore. So pizza eating in a restaurant kind of went away. So could the rest of that shit. So Burger King ain't gonna make you stop. Really? Burger King and McDonald's, you're not gonna be able to go in? Well, can we see your certificate of obeying? That shit ain't gonna happen like that. And then what do you got to drive through? So yeah, Pizza Hut had a buffet. So do Kentucky Fried Chicken got a buffet. So yeah, well, my point is when I said that the chick was told not to, it wasn't like they whispered in her ear at the event, "You can't win." No, come on. So she's about to go on and kick ass, and they was like, "Hey, right before really, you think they gonna hit her like that? Like they whispered in her ear, like, well, you got to fuck up." No, they ain't gonna do her like that. They ain't gonna at the last minute. That's too obvious. Motherfucker whispering in her ear and she looking upset. What the fuck you think they told her? You can't win. So I ain't tripping though. Making feel better saying that. I ain't tripping. Ain't no big deal. Ain't no big deal. I'm just talking shit. Ain't no big deal really. I think I like skin with tobacco tasting better than it on the thing. Helps the throat though, really does. And that girl's from here. Well, she lives in St. Paul, and that's what I was saying when they was talking about all this shaming them, and they ain't fucking with them people over there. Them real gangs is over there. Yeah, you not going over there bullshitting. Like they had a thing that was kind of funny. It was because we got a bunch of Somali in here. That Mogadishu, they come from Somalia, so there's a lot of Somalians here. And there was this group of Somalian dudes that was like they would just push over people. And one of them, it looked like it was staged because they pushed over this old man, and he was riding a bike, and all he had to do was like they pushed him when he was riding the bike. All this dude had to do is stick his legs out. That's all he had to do. But no, he stays on the bike and falls holding the bike. And it like that looks so staged. It's like all you had to do is put your legs out. So they was going on like pushing down people and shit. Yeah, they didn't go where them Hmong live over in St. Paul. They ain't doing that. Like they talking about people fucking with them people. They ain't fucking with them over there. Them is neighborhoods of Hmong. Bunch of neighborhoods. Now St. Paul is smaller than Minneapolis, but they got them their own areas, and they ain't no one fucking around over there. Say that. Ain't nobody fucking around over there. So that's bullshit. But yeah, I wish I could find that on YouTube because that shit was funny. Little dude riding a bike, and they push him over, and he just like all he had to do is put his legs out. I don't care how old he was. He just put his legs out, caught himself, but no, he holds on and bam, falls. And so the dudes was making videos about it and shit. It was kind of funny. A couple people was kind of funny. So they didn't face no real peoples. They didn't face no real ones. They was messing with old people. Mm. I don't know, guys. I just have fun. If you can't have fun in your life, you can't find joy in your life, you can't be balanced. Sometimes I look at some of these people and there's no balance. It's like you gotta have balance. Can't be just what they call it, a one kind of thing. You just got one thing. It's like I don't talk about just one thing. It's like I never have a subject. I never can just say one subject because I find so many things interesting. I find shit about the quantum interesting. It's just sometimes it's hard to tell people. Like this one thing says, can consciousness be explained by quantum physics? And I talk about that a lot because you can take your awareness into the quantum gardens. Exactly. Now, it's not an easy kind of thing. It takes a lot of concentration, and it takes recognizing when you are at that state. That's the other part, because the fractals change. Because a fractal pattern is like broccoli. Fractal, someone had asked me a couple weeks ago, broccoli would show you a fractal pattern. It's a repeating pattern. Like quartz is if you looked at quartz under a microscope, it's the same pattern. But a fractal pattern is like broccoli, cauliflower, sunflower seeds. That's a fractal. It grows like, the sunflower seeds grow in this shape of the golden ratio. All of them pretty much do. But it's just a repeating pattern. And so as you go into your awareness, you have a certain level where you're at. Just to say again, if you just now getting to seeing the golden ratio in your awareness, you're just starting. You've got to raise yourself above that. But as you really push further, the fractal patterns really change. As like, say you're seeing, like you're going down the hallways and you're seeing like wires, and then you're seeing bigger shapes. Well, the shapes change. Like, and it's almost like, how do I put this to make it make sense? I don't even know if I can make it make sense. Because I was going to say, it's like when you're in awareness, things are constantly happening unless you're fucking with sigils. And then sigils, you're waiting for one reaction and interaction. If you fuck with sigils, that's a little different way to go. You're kind of looking at this sigil, and then who's tied to the sigil, and then get a response from the sigil. But taking yourself to quantum, you are are taking your awareness far as it can go. And I was going to say the things slow down and come at slower, and that's not all. That's not always true. It's I guess the proper way would be to say it's a deeper black, and okay, I guess this is the only way I could say it. And where normally going through your awareness, like if you're going through the hallways and you're just dealing with normal awareness, things are kind of coming and going, less coming and going. I mean, you'll see more as you move through, you'll see things kind of set, I guess, is the only way to explain it. And it's like that because things aren't moving as fast on the quantum level. Yeah. Especially like, I don't even know if that could make sense to people. Like to see an atom and to see the protons and then to see the cloud of the atom, maybe that's too much. Maybe that's kind of hard to imagine. I don't know if I could say it in a way for it to be imagined. I'll have to think about that to how to relay it, but it's possible, and I'll have to work on how to say it so people can understand it. Right now, I'm not getting the words out so people can understand it. Have you heard of Chani Conscious X? I have not. I have not. I want to see. Yeah, I don't even know if that was years ago, but it was funny. I still mess up my sexual fantasies. I don't know. She ain't very cute, but okay. Each is own. Have you heard of the channel Conscious X? No, let's look him up. Channel Conscious X. No, I have not. What happened here? Oh, okay. Hmm. This is one thing I wanted to bring. So we may have spotted a parallel universe going backwards in time, and that talks about again. That would go more into the illusion, of course, but it's saying that, well, what they're pretty much saying is they see an atom, and the atom is should be going away from them, and it's like coming to them is basically the whole point. Instead of trying to read all this, nope, that's something different. Take me out of that. Oh, okay. I must have shared that twice. This shit's acting weird, taking my stories away. So, and this thing is acting weird. So, not able to look my stories up. And what's it called? What is it? Conscious X? Conscious X. Okay. Oh, okay. This is brother does music. Say a dude plays both. Interesting. Okay. Duality was the word I was looking for. Duality. Okay. I'll check him out. Right here it says somebody exposed him. Okay, I'll check him out though. But duality was the word I was looking at. Duality is a part that they're saying that a part of duality, and again, the story went away. Can't find the story. This shit's tripping on me. See if I can find it this time. Right here. It says strange particles observed by an experiment in Antarctica could be evidence of an alternative reality everything is upside down. And I think pretty much they're talking about the neutrino, I think. So they actually let 3 balloons go, and then one balloon, the information came in opposite of how it should have came in. So it says, examine more carefully. One signal seemed to be a signature of a high energy particle, but wasn't what they were looking for. It seemed impossible. Rather than bearing down from above, the particle was exploding out of the ground. So instead of the particle dropping down, the particle is coming shooting up. So that's talking kind of about matter. This signal requires existence of a topsy-turvy universe created in, again, the Big Bang, which we know. And then now they got caught in the Big Bang lie. Now they're saying that there's something before the Big Bang, of course. So in the mirror world, positive is negative, left is right, and time runs backwards. That's our reality. Because we are dumbed down. The shit was in the billions, and now we talking about some 2020 shit. And one time was done in the billions. I mean, like today is day 9, 13 platoons, 0 platoons, 8 tunes, 13 and we're at 9 kin. And so they're talking about, and to get the 13 platoon, this shit goes back hundreds of thousands of years. So, well, not hundreds, excuse me. I'm not hundreds of thousands of years, but thousands of years to get to from 1, because 1 is basically measured at 3600 BC. You know, good. They'd like to cap. They like to put a time cap on American history. Neptural Queen, what's happening? Well, thank you, PJ. It's not the channel. They said Orlando Brown is playing triple red. Oh, okay. That's possible. Who is the one dude, Peterson? The real dark dude, I think his name is Peterson. That dude that's a mask. That dude appears like he wearing a mask. I think his name is Jesse Peterson, maybe. That dude is definitely wearing a mask. Whoever's playing that person, that is a mask wearing somebody. That don't look like a real person. The color and everything is off. Everything about that person seems to be off. So could dudes be playing? I know, like sometimes, like I really think Jimmy Carter's JFK, because if you looked at Jimmy Carter and looked at his relatives and looked at his mama, they wasn't long livers. I think Billy Carter died in his 50s. So we know the Kennedys, the mama Kennedy, Rose, I think she made it to 106. Maria Shriver's mama, Eunice, I think her name was Eunice Kennedy. She just died about 104. So we got JFK, and somebody's talking about JFK was taller. Them dudes wasn't tall. Them dudes like 5'6", 5'7", so they wasn't tall. It's like some people think that Morgan Freeman is Jimi Hendrix. And you look at 1970 Jimi Hendrix, you look at Jimi Hendrix at Miami, you can even look at Jimi Hendrix at Woodstock, Jimi Hendrix at Atlanta. They look a lot alike. Morgan Freeman was in the Army. So was Jimi Hendrix. Morgan Freeman was dancing like a motherfucker on the Electric Company. I know some of y'all old enough to remember the Electric Company. That motherfucker was dancing his ass off. Remember that Electric Company? Morgan Freeman was on the Electric Company. Yeah, Jesse Peterson. Yeah, I think that's his name. Oh, okay. Well, thank you, Neptural Queen. Thank you. Yeah, that dude looked fake as hell. Nothing about that Jesse Peterson looked real. Same birth month, 3 years, 2-inch height difference. And height difference can be made up with shoes. You can wear shoes to make you, a little taller. Like Humphrey Bogart was super short. You can wear shoes, make you bigger. Still, I wear shoes. Hell, these damn Adidas things I wear, they about that big. So I'm 6'2" wearing them. Yeah, he definitely looks like he wearing a mask. All that loose skin. Yeah. First time I saw him, I was like, this gotta be some kind of skit or some shit. It's like, no way that's a real person. No way. Well, guys, 2 hours is probably enough for tonight. I ain't really got a whole bunch, but thank you. Um, Dancing his ass off doing the bump. I remember. Thank you. I'm not gonna get to divination. I'm at 2 hours, so 2 hours is probably more than enough. Oh, T Game, I am 52. Yeah, yeah. Oh, I am 5'2". Okay, Mr. T Gaming. Yeah, dancing his ass off, doing the bump and shit. He was doing the push and pull too. I don't know if y'all remember the push and pull. He was doing the push and pull, yeah, doing the bump and shit, singing and shit. Yeah, he was like dressing like a hippie and shit. Yeah. Oh, you 5'2". I'm 6 foot. Still at 60, I'm still 6 foot. I probably was close to 6'1" when I was younger. And we shrink. And guys, work on your posture. Make sure you ain't a bit old man that's bent over. I see too many old dudes where, they start with their necks and they can't even stand up straight and shit. Can't even stand up straight. So work on that. Okay, you the same height as my daughter. I think my daughter is 5'2". My daughter's like the last one. Her and my mother. My mother's still a little bit taller. My mother's like that much taller. But my daughter's the last one. And all my children, I remember we moved here, they were little boys. So all of them, when they got tall as her, like, we're taller than you, Nana. And they was like third, fourth grade. That's what my mother is, about 5'2". My daughter's about 5'1" and close to 5'2". So, but it doesn't matter how big you are. It's just what you do with yourself. That's all. Are you joyful? And that's the thing. It's like, does everybody have joy in their life? Even in all this doom and gloom, can you still find joy? That's why I say where meditation to me is important, because it allows you to get into yourself so that you really know yourself and that you never lie to yourself, that you are always honest with yourself. Doesn't matter, how you relate to the outdoor or outside world. Is how you are inside, and can you find that joy? Like I see a lot of people that's on Facebook that talk about the light and light workers and stuff, and it tells me that they don't really understand. I mean, they talk about all these foreign beings coming, Lemurians and all this shit. Not even Lemurians, the Lyrians and Placidians. And it just makes me see that, where they're at. Because again, one thing that Brother Panic said that is very true is you have to find your own light in the darkness. That's awareness. Awareness ain't got nothing to do with light. Nothing to do with light. It's you creating your own light in darkness. That's awareness. And that's when you become your own master of awareness. I've never talked to one person that has experienced awareness and say, just a bright light came in my awareness, and light is blinding. White light is blinding. So how can you get anywhere with that? Try to just be in a hot, bright room, and even if you cover all this up, that shit is still there. You ain't getting moving nowhere through that. There's nothing you can create in that white light other than white light and being blinded. That's all you can create in white light. So it makes me pause when I hear people say that. I'm a light worker. Well, what does that mean? Does that mean you go into the light? Well, I'm of the light. What does that really mean? So when you die, you going into Boob Whisper? Go to the light, Bobby. Just go to the light. Is that what that means? That's what it makes me think it means. You a light worker. How do you cure with light? I don't get that. I don't get that. Because I've only cured using the darkness. So I don't get what they're saying. Because again, to bring that white light in, okay, look at it like this. So you are trying to work on healing someone, and you really are going to bring white light in to try to see where the ailment is? I mean, how does that work? You have to start in darkness to find out how that works. This camera's really just... So I listen to them and I'm thinking, y'all doing a lot of capping. because you're not even going to go far enough in that white light to see anything. It's so blinding and so stopping you. Hey, MJ, laugh, smile, be good spirit during the gloomy times. There you go. Yeah, exactly. It's no way you can get anywhere with that shit. So you see the people that they try and they're spiritual to a point, but you have to beware because white light is blinding, and you ain't gonna get nowhere in that stuff. Matter of fact, like if you're talking about a prism and a prism planet, white light bounced off a prism, where does that get you? Where does that get you? You sit there and think about that. White light bounced off a prism. And that's what it is, a prism. I am absolutely grateful for this channel. Well, thank you, Liquid Fire. That is so kind of you to say. That is so kind of you to say. But yeah, white light bounced off a prism, put you in prison. That's where the prison will set up prisons to put you in. It's a block. It's a lock. And that's the thing is, to me, when people talk about the white light, it's a lock. It's a lock, you know. Well, I'm gonna go, guys. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Um, yeah, I've been going for 2 hours, and I got a little one that's gonna come, and I got a lot of work to get done tomorrow. So we'll get some of it done in a few minutes. So as I have gotten the recent habit of doing, I do give you a little time walker information. And this is kind of how they cheered each other up because, you know, it's hard, you know, to leave your homeland and have to be a civilization starter and not really getting recognized that you started the civilization, because that's what you are. You're a civilization starter. And after the civilization starts, you move on. So it all starts with a gentle sadness. They came from their original homeland. They knew that they had exact numbers of years and days before they would disappear off the earth as a culture and a lifestyle. But the civilization would build to a gentle love. They lived in the Creator's day and knew how to separate cycles in the great serpent. And as the mind would say, I am another yourself, so treat me the way you would treat yourself. So thank you. This has been the Chocolate Mountain Show. Thank you, everybody, for joining. I appreciate it. Appreciate the support. I appreciate their questions, because there's never a bad question. All questions are welcomed. And till we meet again.